post TGE then, Carl, what do you sort of work on after the TGE? Because as we said earlier, I think a lot of people focus on that point and they don't really think about everything afterwards.
Yeah. TG is the first step, not the last step.
That's right. Yes.
I think that we've seen a large change when it comes to post TGE. Initially, it was very much we're going to launching a grants program and full on governance. And to Mark's point earlier, governance now might be a council that you vote in. There's still steps in order to get that council process working. The council still needs to meet frequently in order to perform the duties that the DAO is expecting of them. If you are launching a grants program, what does your grants program look like? How is it run? What is the envisioned goal of that grants program? Those they don't happen in a silo. You need to sit down and work through what that means and put the structures in place in order to achieve it. And then you have to operationally run that part. And we often see that, when it comes to like grants programs, we built out Arbitrum's one, and Arbitrum received something like 50 to 100 applications a week. That is not just somebody coming on once a week for an hour, quickly reviewing 100 applications and saying, based on the following factors, we know who's getting a grant. That's a full-time job. And you have to specify what you want out of your grants programs also to ensure you get the results for the community that is appropriate. We frequently help teams with envisioning that, building out the roadmap towards getting to it, and then how to achieve success. And then it also becomes how do you communicate success to the community. I think transparency reports have really moved more to the forefront now, and it seems like a lot of projects are doing it, and I think that's very good for the ecosystem. Transparency report also is you don't invent that in a silo. What do you want it to say? What has been the key highlights? What do we want the community to know and understand what we're aiming for the next year? All of that forms part of the transparency report, and it's a collaboration effort between the labs company, the foundation company, the directors, us, and in the community as well, in order to produce one that is helpful for everybody in the system to understand. And that's where Lemma's experience and knowledge comes in, and we love working with our teams in order to achieve the goals that they want to.
And I think it almost hits on that maturing of the space.
Definitely.
It's not just a bunch of people deciding we're going to do something and launching it. You actually need legal agreements, everything in place. But I think it's a good thing because we're now seeing, the people who are signatories, they've got consulting agreements, so everyone is protected both ways. If you're issuing grants, there's actually a grant agreement. It's not just money for nothing with no recourse afterwards. There's actually milestones. You're following up on the milestones. You're checking everything. The one other thing I wanted to sort of get all three of your thoughts on is airdrops or incentive programs. I think maybe first from a legal point of view, what should teams be thinking about? What are some of the pitfalls then? And then Carl, for the practical side of actually doing an airdrop.
I think for airdrops has always been something, came in the picture, lots of hype. I think some of the pitfalls or some of the things people don't understand is that most of the founders just see it as, this is it, we're going to airdrop it to founders, no implications. There isn't anything that we need to do. We're just going to do it. Like, they get what they want, the community gets what they want. But I think some of the pitfalls they face is that there are actually a lot of agreements that are now in place for even airdrops. Just to dictate, for example, the airdrop terms, the claim terms, even disclaiming of certain liabilities and stuff like that. So I think that's crucial for the founders, especially because in terms of the terms and conditions, privacy policies and stuff like that with regards to airdrop, there are actually a lot of considerations they don't think about. For example, in terms of the data they take from airdrops and stuff like that, I think that's one thing that just flies over their head. Most of the time, there are some legal implications with, for example, obtaining certain KYC data or something from the community. And if the community isn't protected, or if the founders are not protected by these privacy policies and terms, these private information might just come out to light in public. So there are a lot of these small things that founders don't really know about, which I think we've seen the space mature as we've been talking about. They now have very sophisticated airdrop terms in terms of what they can do with it, who is liable for what, tax implications, and I think that those are some things which founders have to note. Another important point as well, which I think most founders come to us, is do airdrops or for example points even, do they trigger any security law implications, or what if the token is might be a security token. So I think this is something that the space is still kind of maneuvering. There were a lot of questions about it during the airdrop phase. Now that it's a bit less, I think most people have shelved it on the back. But I think our position as legal has always been that it depends. I think that is that is our favorite line as legal. For now, there are a lot of gray areas. Points is great for potentially tokens which might jump into the securities position, because there isn't really a commitment to any token that is or point system which, let me take that again. There isn't any commitment to what the token or when the token will actually be dropped. So points is still a good kind of middle ground for most founders. But in terms of airdropping security or securitized tokens in the future, our advice is always, you need to get a legal opinion from the jurisdiction in which the token is being released, just to cover, for example, all these other legal implications which might arise from a security token. And once you get that, for example, if we get it from the BVI, token issuing company from the BVI, and then if a token opinion from the BVI lawyers come out and say that, yep, you guys are clear, founders are good. And I think that's something that founders really don't touch upon. Legal opinions are a big pain in the ass, and they come with huge costs as well. I'm not sure how much, but I think in the BVI it runs up to nearly 5 digits, maybe even 6. So they tend to just throw that to the side, but I think that it's of crucial importance for airdrops to get that opinion out, to know exactly what you're dropping out. Yeah.